guess when in doubt,
cast it out.
it was a full moon last night, and my belief, and this is what I've noticed after all my years of fishing, is that fishing during the day after a full moon is very difficult. The fishing is normally pretty slow to absolute stopping. So cut bait and just sitting might be the way to go here, but we are going to try to catch something on a lure here. What happens in the springtime and summertime, at least in the flats where I fish a lot, there's a lot of pinfish. That might be a little trout actually behind my lure right now. There's a lot of pinfish, and when you work a top water, any lure, you're going to get like a big school of pinfish following you and nipping at it. And that's actually not a bad thing, because that can oftentimes attract a red or a trout or some other predator fish that you want to catch. There are tons of mullet jumping around here, and that's also what I look for, by the way. If you want to know where to fish, you're really just looking for the wildlife that you can see. Obviously, you're probably not going to see the fish underneath the water. I mean, obviously, sometimes people can do that in different places and situations, but most of the time, you're not going to say, oh, there's a red, there's a trout, you know, unless you're on a polling platform or something like that. But what you can do is you look for the wildlife you can see. You look for birds wading and hunting on the bank. You look for, you know, fish jumping. You look for mullet jumping. And a lot of these mullet that are jumping, if we get the chance to see one on camera, there's one right there.
On camera, there's one right there.
Cue the mullet. A lot of these mullet are huge, and they're way too big for a redfish to eat. So, but the redfish and the trout will follow them around. And my theory on that is that they follow them around because as those mullets swim around and they feed on the grass and all that kind of stuff, they spook up other fish, shrimp, crabs, and the trout and reds come around and feed on that. So it just seems that life begets life. So if you're seeing a lot of birds wading, diving, a lot of mullet jumping, then, you know, that's worth a cast. The other thing too that I would say is watch the ripples. So when I say about watch the ripples, as you look out over the horizon, you know, obviously there's a pattern to the waves, there's a pattern to the ripple. And sometimes you'll see a ripple going contrary or sideways, or you'll just see something that doesn't look like the pattern of ripples that you're seeing. Cast at that. I can't tell you how many times that I catch fish just casting at a section of water that just doesn't look like the rest of the water. And that's because there's either something underneath the water that's causing that stir that can hold fish, like a structure, or it's an actual fish moving, like a red or a trout or something moving along, and he's just making that water ripple a little differently. So cast at it. I guess when in doubt,
cast it out.